We're well into injury time. 40 seconds, in fact, as it comes away to Stuart again. Stuart throws the dummy. Now Ricky Stuart's on his own. He's up to the halfway. He's waiting for Eddinghausen. He's got support. Eddinghausen's with him. Back it goes to Medina. Out to the gate. Does he get scores? Oh, what a try. What a try. What a right from Stuart.
Oh, we lost David Thirsty Morrow this year, and what a great broadcaster he was, and possibly one of the great rugby league calls of all time, one of the great rugby league moments. He told me off air, this guy, the coach of the Canberra Raiders, Ricky Stuart, he's never actually ever seen that footage of that try.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no, I'm only joking. Oh. He joins us on Sportsday.
Me.
How are you, Rick?
Only once a day.
How you been, mate? How's
good, thanks. Good.
How's all the pre-season start off? Is the most obvious question.
Yeah, good. It's with a large squad. We've got all our development players and trial trainers. It's we've got about 40, close to 50 odd. So we've got a large squad, which is really good. We've got a lot of young players, searching for that opportunity to play NRL, and it's good. We're doing a lot of work with these development kids, and plus we've got everybody's back now from our full squad, our top 30.
Yeah, nice. Now, a little bit later on, we're going to talk about Kangaroo Tours. It's, 30 years since the last one, 94, which you went on. And but before we do that, just with the Raiders, young recruit Ethan Sanders from Para at the club. How's he looked first time you've got your hands on him?
Yeah, very good. He's a, well, we all know he's a talent. He's a very studious in regards to his game. He's, all those younger players, they're all very keen to keep learning about their game, and we do a lot of work on analysing their games and looking at where we can develop their game and make it better. And he's no different. He's been really good. I've enjoyed the last 5 or 6 weeks with him, and I had Ethan and 4 or 5 of the other young blokes all come over last night for a barbie, which is good because you get to see the other side of them. They get to see the other side of me.
Oh, that's fantastic. Stick,
is that the old? Well, sorry, Michelle. Is this the steak invitation? Is this the famous steak invitation to players?
Something about having a steak.
Isn't it a steak with Ricky?
Home.
Isn't it like you're accepted if you get a steak from Ricky?
I don't know if it's famous, but I know one thing: they're not game enough to say it's no good. The steak.
Hey, Ricky, we had you on halfway through the year, and you said that Jamal never brings a steak.
That's it.
Has he bring a steak yet?
Okay, that's right.
Yeah.
No, he hasn't. He hasn't been invited back either. No, I've only just said to him the other day I want him to bring the girls over after Christmas and have a swim. He's got a great family, Carly and the girls, so they often come over, which is good.
Well, that is something special about the Raiders. It is a bit of a family club, and also that relationship that you've been able to continue, I guess, with the Pommies. A long list of players, have come to the club. Elliot Whitehead. You've got MATTY Nicholson, who's arrived. It was good to hear him talk about, what brought him to the Raiders, and that was him speaking to people like John Bateman, George Williams, just saying just how good the club is, how invested you are with the players. It's good to see that you're going to be able to continue that.
Yeah, he's a good player too, MATTY Nicholson. He's a young player who's played a good amount of first grade in the Super League, and the one thing I know about the Pommies is they're tough. And I haven't coached an Englishman that's not tough, and Matty's another good, solid, tough Pommie, and it was actually very nice. It was only just before they arrived here in Australia. I got a lovely photo with Matty and Morgan Smithies over there having a pint with the great Adrian Morley. So it was nice to get a photo of Moz, and he takes great joy in a lot of the young English boys coming to England, Adrian Morley, because he's probably the first. He was the first one I coached, and it was where I got the idea from. I mean, they came over here. They love Australia. And, all the Englishmen that we've had here have really enjoyed living in Canberra and the culture and the club we've got here.
Ricky, the English forwards, even back in the 60s and 70s, the English forwards always were very good with the ball in hand, their short passing game. I feel as though sometimes our Australian forwards, we can sometimes pigeonhole ourselves a little bit too much, where we could probably learn a little bit from the English forwards of years gone by.
Yeah, I I think that the game has got so much more involved in using the ball with our middles. I mean, I know we promoted it a lot. Isaiah Yeo's probably a wonderful example of a middle player using the ball to transition it to his halves, and I think it's promoted a lot more from a number of coaches in regards to your middles using the football. And I know the POMMIE boys that I've had here in the middle and back rowers, they've all been exceptional with the football, especially Elliot Whitehead. He was exceptional with the footy in hand, and Morgan he plays the ball well, and it's something that Tim Sheen's always promoted here as a coach. When I was playing underneath Tim, he always wanted the forwards to be using the football, play with it out in front and show the ball and tuck it in or play the ball. So he always promoted that little bit of a shift in the play.
Yeah, nice.
Stick, it's always a really tough pre-season down there in the nation's capital. How will you change it up this year, given Vegas being the opening round? Will it differ in any way?
Yeah, we have. We've changed our. I won't go into it, Michelle, on getting too technical, but we've really changed up our coaching in pre-season this year. Of course, it's hard. Every team trains hard. There's different ways to train hard, though, and we got our mannerisms and standards that we want to train to, and because I've got such a very young squad, I've really changed up the way we're coaching within our systems.
Hey, with Vegas, Rick, in round one, did it take some convincing as a coach and Donny Ferner as the club to be part of? Or
hang on a minute, a bunch of footballers going to Vegas, taking some convincing. Am I missing something?
He's got to give us a political answer here. Or is it an experience, or is it much bigger than the club itself that the club has got to be part of?
Oh yeah, no, it's a wonderful opportunity, and we're very proud that we've been chosen to represent the NRL in opening the season, but two, representing Canberra and the Canberra Raiders, all our community. We're very excited about going over. Personally, I've never been to Vegas, but I'm excited about embracing the experience, but more so embracing the opportunity of preparing to play in a game that's going to be televised to over I think it's over 100 million people. I mean, it's an amazing opportunity for these boys to break some new ground, and I'm proud of the fact that it's going to be the Canberra Raiders. It's we want to do the game proud, we want to do the club proud, so we'll make sure preparations we do everything to get our preparation right, and the club's been our club has been great in regards to what I've requested for when we get over there. And Matty Ford's only been just back from a logistics tour with the NRL, and the managers of each of the four teams that have been given the opportunity to play there. So each manager has gone over there and got their logistics in order, and come back and set your preparation and through your schedule and your training work.
Now, let's look back at your 1994 premiership winning team, Rick. If they were to go to play in Vegas for round one of 1995,
would they make kickoff?
Who are the players that you would fear going to Vegas before and after a game, and why would it be Jason Croker and Brett Mullins?
Mate, I don't know. Look, you'd probably want to get there the day before the game with Mullo, but you wouldn't be real much of a hope of bringing him back.
Yeah. Hey, on the Kangaroo Tours, of course, 94 was the last Kangaroo Tour which you were on, Rick. Now, you missed out on that first test, 1990. Came in the second test. Of course, we just heard those memories earlier on. How different were you as a player going in 90 and then going again 4 years later?
Experience. It's certainly you can't buy it. In 1990, I played 5'8" for the first game because Laurie
that's right,
broke his hand. So I played 5'8", and then Bozo moved me to halfback. And a similar thing happened in 1994. But 1990 to 94 was just another 4 years of experience was enormous in regards to understanding what the tour was going to be about. The prestige, the the history before us that a Kangaroo Tour had. So that was obviously something that you're very proud about. You're making your number 2 tour, and that was the tour that was Mal's number 4, and it was his last. So I was very, very fortunate to play in his last club game here and his last representative game in England, and we won the Ashes. So, look, it was I never ever lose respect of the fact of putting on that jumper and playing for the Kangaroos and touring England, and I'd love to see another Kangaroo Tour for one reason, and that's just to give these boys the experience of what it is like going over there and playing against a lot of the other club teams, and then give them the opportunity to play in front of those big crowds. I love the English Rugby League and what it's all about, the passion in the stands, which really makes it.
Yeah, nice. Michelle, just remember, Laurie Daly broke his hand in a fight in that tour. Remember that? Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Listen, I just wanted to touch base with you. When you signed your extended coaching deal, one of the quotes that you had was your ultimate goal is to change every one of my players' lives as a coach. And obviously you're referring to, winning a premiership and that sort of stuff. But what about when you see the likes of, you've seen plenty, probably the most recent, and that's Hudson Young, get to pull on that Kangaroos jersey, and you being a part of that, you being a part of that journey. What's that like as a coach?
Well, I've got a special relationship with Huddo because I've coached him for a long time, and that's always been our goal, that we wanted him to have a focus on representing, because when I first got here, Michelle, I often said, look, I need to get representative players here for us to be in contention of winning a competition, and we didn't have any representative players. And then we started to gain a few, and we did really well there for a couple of seasons in regards to fighting for a top 4 spot. And then those players are retired, and now we've got a different journey in regards to the vision that we've set for ourselves for the club. And we'll buy our own young players and make them turn them into our marquees. So yeah, we've got to be patient. But patience doesn't mean we're not going to win games of football. So these guys are going to learn very quickly and early, and we showed that last year with some of the youth that we brought into the NRL through the first grade here, and we're in the 8 for most of the season, and I was disappointed with the back end of the season in dropping out, and we've got to fix our defence and we've got to fix our attack if we want to compete, and we'll do that.
Just one more from me before I let you go. I want to touch on the women's side of the game. Women's sport is obviously huge and growing in this country. It's enormous. Darren's doing a really decent job there at the Raiders with the women's game as well. You must be proud of that, seeing both the men's and the women's game from your perspective there in the nation's capital, growing.
Yeah. Premature so the men's teams prepared, and they're really bought into the values and the standards of the club. Has been great, and they're a pleasure to have around. I usually run into them of an afternoon here when they come in to train, to their meetings and training and their preparation. And one thing I know I've seen over the years with women in sport, and especially rugby league that I watch, that they develop and improve their skill quality very, very quickly, a lot quicker than a young boy. And I was only in the gym very early this morning, and one of the girls was in here, and she was working as hard as a bloke does. And you look, it's so good to see, and it's, you're right, Michelle, it is really kicking along, and it's kicking along here big time in Canberra, and we've accepted the girls here as a big part of the club.
Good stuff. Hey,
Nice.
Love what the Raiders bring each and every week. Rick, I hope a top 4 position is on the cards in 25. Starts round 1, of course, against the Warriors in Vegas. And a player I can't wait to watch this year, 22 he is, Trey Mooney.
Oh, he's my favourite.
Yeah,
Absolute favourite.
He's going to have a
Bring
big
him
year.
on.
Hey, Rick, thanks very much for joining us on Sportsday,
Good on you
mate.
guys. Thanks very much.
Thanks, Ricky.
Cheers. Thank you. Bye.
Thanks, Dick.